economics Nobel laureates, and a host of other prominent economists began extending Fisher's life cycle model. Hence, by the time I reached grad school, economists had formed a clear theory of how people should save, insure, and invest. They also understood why no one, not even Irving Fisher, could predict the stock market. Of course, developing a theory and expecting people to adhere to its tenets are two different things. Were real-world households doing as economic theory prescribed? Were they saving enough? Were they buying enough insurance? Were they choosing the right careers? Were they taking on too much debt? Were they investing appropriately? Were they making the right Social Security and tax moves? These and similar questions took up residence in my brain and those of other econ eggheads. Many of us started to compare actual personal financial behavior, as reported in nationwide household surveys, with theoretically appropriate behavior. Within 2 decades, the picture was both clear and ugly. Essentially, everyone was making big financial mistakes, saving far too little or far too much, buying the wrong amount of life insurance, borrowing irresponsibly, leaving great sums of lifetime Social Security benefits on the table, paying significantly more taxes than required, becoming house poor. The list goes on. The economics profession took this news poorly. What? People aren't adhering to our beautiful theory? How dare they? They must be financially sick. They lack self-control. They are myopic, financially illiterate, or both. People's greedy present selves were ripping off defenseless future selves by overspending and undersaving. Overnight, a new field of economics arose, behavioral finance, devoted to studying the precise pathologies underlying individuals' awful financial decisions. Economists don't always agree. Indeed, they don't always agree with themselves. President Truman said he needed a one-hand economist to stop hearing "on the other hand." I'm a two-handed economist, but my take on behavioral finance is unequivocal. I strongly dispute the premise that people screw up their finances because they are badly behaved, financially lost, short-sighted, or mentally ill. Even the most responsible, prudent, financially well-educated, and psychologically balanced people make major mistakes. The reason is simple. The financial problems we face are unbelievably complex, far beyond the capacity of our brains to solve without some clear direction. Why do I think this? 3 reasons. The first reason is self-reflection. I recognize that even my own economically pretty well-trained brain isn't remotely up to the task. If, for example, you tell me all about your personal finances and ask me the annual amount you can permanently spend this year and every year through the rest of your life, in other words, if you ask me to smooth your consumption off the top of my head with no paper and pencil, my answer will surely be off by 30% or more. Other economists are no better at what is essentially a guessing game. I once asked a room full of economists, all of whom were gathered to discuss household personal finance, to answer, on the fly, the consumption smoothing question for a hypothetical 40-year-old. I gave them the pertinent information and watched their faces. They weren't happy. They all knew that they were about to produce a very wrong answer. Right then and there, they seemed to realize that even financially literate people like themselves couldn't make proper financial decisions via introspection. The precisely calculated, i.e. computer-calculated answer to the problem was $75,589 per year. None of the assembled experts got within $15,000. Their answers ranged from $30,000 to $135,000. Here's the second reason making financial decisions is so tough. Doing so requires getting government benefit and tax programs right. In the U.S., that's a heavy lift. Take the Social Security system. It has 2,728 rules governing its 13 benefits. As if that's not enough, its program operations manual system has hundreds of thousands of rules governing those 2,728 rules. Add the complexities of federal and state income tax, and well, things get crazy. How can we possibly maximize our lifetime benefits and minimize our lifetime taxes without having a handle on these provisions? My third reason why decisions concerning finances can be so difficult. Back to what I originally stated, financial problems are complex. We have to decide how much to spend, save, insure, and invest in different assets over time. And we have to do so in the face of cash flow constraints, those crazy tax and benefit rules, and the nasty chicken or egg questions. The nasty chicken or egg questions? Yes. Here's an example. What comes first, the spending or the taxes? Each depends on the other. How much we can spend over time depends on what taxes we pay over time.